Hello, welcome back to the Draw, a Fair to Green podcast. And boy, was it a fun week this past week in the world of golf. I mean, you had a major, you had brothers winning, you had someone on the DP World Tour win this drought for the first time in 5 years. But we have to start with the newly minted world number one, Nelly Korda. She picks up her third career major, and it was her tournament, start to finish. She won wire to wire. It was really never close after the first round. She absolutely blitzed the field. And again, coming into it, she was playing great. She had the win. She had multiple second place finishes. But Gino's still here. Hannah Green's been the best player on earth, men or women, the last 2 months with 4 wins coming into it. So there's a lot of hype around the major, it being the first one. And it delivered. Was it dramatic? No, because Nelly ran away. She ended up winning by 5. She beat Runing Yin and Patty Tavatanakit by 5 strokes. She was at 18 under, and it was just an excellent display of golf. I mean, some of the stats from here. She made 23 birdies the whole week, the most of anyone in the field. She hit 59 of 72 greens in regulation. Again, just dominant type of performance from. Now we can have the conversation, is it Hannah Green or Nelly Korda? I'm going to go with Nelly Korda just because she's Nelly Korda. It's her 17th career win, and she has been great so far this year. I mean, she's now, like I said, back to number 1 in the world ranking. Gino moves to 2. She has multiple victories in a season again. Getting to that third career major is just amazing. Her second career Chevron. And I think it was in the final round where she's up by 6 heading into it. She never gave her competitors even a chance. I think it was something like she hit 12 of 13 fairways, or she only missed 1 fairway in the final round. If you're trying to close out a major, that's the way to do it. And boy, was it cool to see the plunge into that pool kind of off to the side. Now, I did hear that Tom Doak is coming into this golf course and putting a natural or a man-made pond in for the purpose of the plunge, so it's not just something they build every year. So that should be pretty cool. From what I understand, they're going to make kind of a man-made pond lake running up the right side of the 18th fairway. So I think also make the golf course a little more difficult. So that'll be cool. But again, a cool tradition that I know a lot of the LPGA players were wanting when they moved here last year, and they got the temporary pool to go into. But now with Tom Doe coming back in, putting in that lake, that's pretty cool. Again, an excellent performance from Nelly. I mean, she has been just really good to start the year, and she was my pick going in. I know she hadn't won for a while since the Orlando event, but she's been playing so well with all those runner-up finishes that it just felt like it was going to be her. And she proved to everyone, like, yep, even though I didn't win last year at all, here I am, 2 wins already, multiple second places. So we're in for, I think, a great season. I think Gino will pick up another win or 2. And there's nothing better for the game of golf when your star players play the best and perform. Just go ask the PGA Tour about Rory McIlroy winning back-to-back Masters and Scotty winning all those majors. Like, if Nelly's winning and Gino's winning and they're competing against each other, I mean, that is great, especially for all the new broadcast stuff and all the TV rights that they have now. Again, didn't hate the coverage this week, thought it was pretty good. The one thing was that the TV coverage starting late on Sunday, so you couldn't really see Nelly play. I think it was with like her first couple holes, so that's kind of a bummer that they'll have to work out, because you'd like to see her from opening tee shot to when the final putt drops. But again, they got to compete with everything else. But I still would think that that's the one thing they'll try to fix, is getting on air earlier so we can see the beginning of the final groups around. That was wild that we couldn't really see it. And not even that you couldn't even stream it anywhere. So the fact that you couldn't see it on TV, that stinks. But now that you have no streaming option either, I mean, it's 2026. We got to figure that out. We got to make sure we can see the leaders tee off to start their final round. But again, congrats to Nelly, an absolute dominant performance from the best women's player right now. As cool as that story was, and that's going to take the headline for the best story this week, we have to go over to the PGA Tour, to the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, where the only team event on the PGA Tour, 2 main teams, they play alternate shot, 2 days, best ball, 2 other days. And Alex Fitzpatrick and Matt Fitzpatrick win. The brother combo gets it done in their 4th appearance down in New Orleans at this event. Their previous finish was at T11 2 years ago. And yes, we can talk about Matt Fitzpatrick. Brian and I did that last week. This is his 3rd win of the PGA Tour season. It's his 4th in like the last 7 months. He's absolutely just really good right now. He's probably the 3rd best player behind Scotty and Rory. I think I'm going to give it to him and not Cam Young right now. But again, if Cam Young goes and wins a couple times here, we have maybe a little discussion. But right now, I think Matt Fitzpatrick, the way he's playing, he's kind of taken that 3rd spot. But I want to talk about Alex Fitzpatrick. Alex Fitzpatrick won a month ago on the DP World Tour for the first time, so he secured that status for the rest of the year. But with this win, he gets into all the remaining signature events of this season, the PGA Championship in a month, gets into the Players next year, and has a tour card through 2028. I mean, that is literally life-changing for Alex Fitzpatrick. Not that the DP World Tour is not a bad place to play. He would have had status, and he's played well, so he could have maybe earned his PGA Tour card through the top 10 ranking on the Race to Dubai. But instead of that, he's accepted his PGA Tour membership. He's going to be on the PGA Tour. He's in the field this week at the Cadillac Championship down in Miami. So again, really cool. And then to be able to clinch it with your brother, there's probably no better feeling. I know Matt Fitzpatrick said it. Someone asked him in the press conference, where's this rank among wins? And he goes, this is probably right behind his major win at Brookline. I mean, to win with your brother is cool, but then to win and secure his PGA Tour card and kind of lock him up for 2.5 years, that's so cool. I mean, the best shot of the day. I mean, there are a lot of good shots, but Matt Fitzpatrick loves bunkers on the 72nd hole. I mean, go back to Brookline when he won his U.S. Open, hits that one out of the bunker, the fairway bunker, and makes birdie or par to beat Zalatoris at the U.S. Open. And then here, he had like a 35-yard bunker shot and just absolutely picks it clean and has almost side spin and stops on a dime and then spins right and gets it to tap in range for his brother Alex for the win. And again, I thought it was funny after Alex said his hands were shaking. He couldn't feel his legs. And the moment when they were hugging on the green, I mean, I have a younger brother. To see that is just really cool. Again, I hope this isn't one of the tournaments that when they kind of remake their schedule, it goes away. I'm sure it's probably up there on the chopping block, but I think it's really cool. You see different people win. Last year, Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak won for the first time on the PGA Tour here. But again, Matt Fitzpatrick, Alex Fitzpatrick, really cool story. Alex getting a PGA Tour card, and I hope play well. I mean, he may not compete this week at Miami. It's going to be tough to kind of calm down and get all that adrenaline, but it's a tough golf course. But for him, that's great. Gets him into a major in 2 weeks. Again, great stuff. Matt Fitzpatrick not in the field this week. He's taking a week off, and then we'll probably see him down at the Truist Championship at Quail Hollow. Over on the DP World Tour, Bernd Wiesberger clinched his 9th career title over in Shanghai. He hasn't won on the DP World Tour since 2021. Since 2021 and since his last victory, he's played on a Ryder Cup team. He got all the way up to 21st in the world at one point and just has been just okay the last 5 years. And for him to come out, he played a pretty steady round on the front 9, and in the back 9, he took advantage of his playing partner's mistakes, and he ends up shooting 3 under on the back 9, wins by 3. And again, just like we were talking about with Alex Fitzpatrick, him saying it kind of gives him security for the rest of the year. He's into the Rolex Series events on the DP World Tour, which is like their signature events. He gets him moved up. I think he moved up to 16th in the Race to Dubai ranking. So if he can continue to play well, get into that top 10, now that Alex Fitzpatrick is out of there, that's one less spot that someone is taking. If he can get him to the top 10, get into that PGA Tour, get a card, that'd be great. He has, I think it's 74 career starts on the PGA Tour, but he's never had full status there. But again, good for Bernd Wiesberger breaking that drought over there in China. This week, we have a couple tournaments. We have the Cadillac Championship, we have the Turkish Airlines Open, and we have the Riviera Maya Open Mayakoba down at the LPGA. We're going to start with that event. It's at El Chameleon Golf Course at Mayakoba. If it sounds familiar, the PGA Tour used to play an event there. Live Golf has played an event there a couple of years as well. This one, again, not the greatest field, but not the worst field. There are multiple LPGA Tour winners from this year in the field, or just one. Nelly, she's in the field. Kind of shocked she's staying in. I'm kind of surprised she didn't withdraw after winning, but good for her keeping that commitment. She'll be the clear favorite coming off a win and just how well she's played. We have 21 out of the 28 LPGA Tour rookies in the field. So again, not the craziest event, but again, it's a nice golf course, not the most hard golf course at all. My pick for the win, it's tough not to pick Nelly, but I'm not going to. I am going to pick Lynn Grant. She's won 2 times at LPGA Tour. She's ranked 37th in the world right now. But again, she's won recently in the last couple of months. I think it was the last 7 months she won. So again, Lynn Grant is my pick to win down in Mexico for the LPGA Tour event. Over on the PGA Tour event, we have the Cadillac Championship, which is a new event. It is a signature event played at Trump National Doral, the Blue Monster course. It is the first time hosting event at this course in 10 years. It used to host the WGC Cadillac Championship for 10 years, and then in 2016 that event was moved and hasn't hosted an event for 10 years. It's a tough golf course. It's a long golf course. It's like 7,700 yards, so it's going to be one of the longer golf courses on the PGA Tour schedule. It's, again, Live Golf has had 2 events there the last 2 years. They're not playing there this year, but the Cadillac Championship, Cadillac returns as a sponsor for the first time in 10 years as well. So that's cool. Again, another signature event. I don't love the way the PGA Tour has done their schedule recently. You had the Masters, and then you had the signature event at the RBC Heritage. Then you had last week, which is a team event. Then you go this week, the Cadillac Championship. Next week, the Truist Championship, which is another signature event. And there's also the One Flight Myrtle Beach, which is like an opposite field event. So it's just tough. If you're not in the signature events, if you weren't in the Masters, the last time you really played a normal event was down in Houston. Again, that's tough. Again, how many people are going to go play the Zurich this week? Who knows? And then you have the opposite field next week. So if you weren't in signature events, like, you have a long break without really a real just normal stroke play tournament. So I don't love back-to-back signature events on the PGA Tour, because you go signature event, and then right after that, you have the PGA Championship. So it's really like 3 signature events in a row. If you're not in the major, it's tough if you're not in these 2 signature events. So I don't love them and how they did this schedule. I know Brian Rolap talked earlier in the year at the Players how they're going to rearrange the schedule and all that. I'm hoping they kind of spread the signature events out just to give more players a chance. And then you'll see more players in it. Like this week, Rory McIlroy isn't playing in the Cadillac Championship. Matt Fitzpatrick isn't playing in the championship. Those are the number 2 and 3 players in the world. There's another top 10 player in the world not playing. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But again, when they're not playing in this event, it kind of takes away from it. So I would like them to spread them out, get the players playing more. My pick this week is Cameron Young. It's a long golf course, like I said. You're going to need to hit fairways. You need to be in the fairway. The greens are tough. He's a good putter. It screams Cam Young. It's just, he's played really well. He hasn't played since the RBC Heritage, so he's rested. He gets a week off, kind of decompress and all that from his Masters run and the RBC Heritage. So I think Cameron Young wins for the second time this year on the PGA Tour. The last tournament we're going to talk about is the Turkish Airlines Open over on the DP World Tour. It's their second year back. It's been an event since 2013, but took a 5-year hiatus. Came back last year when Martin Corvra of France won. He beat Jorge Campillo and Haotong Li by 2 to win his first event, or first career title. Not the worst field. It's a pretty good field. There's a lot of winners from this year in the field. You got Jaden Shaper, David Puig, Nacho Elvira, Dan Bradbury, Freddie Scott, Jordan Gumber, all in the field who have won this year on the DP World Tour. And then you throw in Francesco Molinari and some other good players. It's a golf course designed by, or partly designed by, David Feherty. And most golfers say this is the best course he's designed. He's designed a couple other ones, but this one is the best one out in Turkey. My pick for this tournament is David Puig. I mentioned him earlier. He's played 5 events on the DP World Tour over the last couple of months, because he's a live golfer. In 3 of those, though, he's finished top 3, including a win. And he's also played well in live. Again, he's a young Spaniard golfer coming up, just like my pick last week, Eugenio Chichar, who didn't do too well. But again, David Puig is really good, and that's one, if live does fold, I'd love to see him on the PGA Tour or DP World Tour, because I think he's really good from what I've seen from him. Again, so he's my pick this week at the DP World Tour event. 2 things before we go, just a couple quick shout outs. Stacy Lewis is retiring from the LPGA. There was a great moment once she finished on her round on Friday. Her dad came out on the bag for her last hole. Her husband let her dad do it. That was really cool. Her daughter was out there, gave her a hug. They gave her flowers. 13 LPGA Tour wins, 2 major wins. Pretty good Solheim Cup player. She's also the captain. She was the winning captain in 2023 and 2024. So really good career. Just, it's sad to see such a good golfer go, but she's having her second kid and deciding to hang up the clubs. But again, congrats to Stacy Lewis. Great career. The other shout out I want to give before we log off is Jim Furyk. Jim Furyk was named the Ryder Cup captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup over at Adair Mare. And if I don't sound too excited, I'm sorry. I don't love it. And I know the rumors were, it's Tigers, but then everything happened with his Heat DWI, and that was immediately, he's not going to be the captain anymore. I don't know who would have been a better pick. I think I maybe would have picked Steve Stricker because he's won a Ryder Cup. Jim Furyk, last time he was the captain of the Ryder Cup, they lost at Les Golf National in France. I think it was 2017. He was the winning President's Cup captain last year in Montreal for the USA team. So he was an assistant captain at the Ryder Cup this past year at Bethpage. He has experience. He's played on the PGA Tour with a lot of these guys, and he knows a lot of these guys. So I understand where they're going with that. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the better pick was. I didn't think Keegan was the right pick either 2 years ago when they decided him. And it was almost like they picked him because they felt bad he was not a captain's pick. So I think in that essence, I like Jim Furyk a little more because I think he'll go back to kind of a Steve Stricker mentality, a Paul Azinger mentality where he'll learn from his mistakes. He'll learn from his captain's picks. I think they need to get more into statistics. I know Eduardo Molinari is the stats guru for the European team. There needs to be someone on the USA team that does that for them and helps them with pairing, helps them with, obviously they can't control the golf course because it's over in Europe, so that's in their hands. But with the pairings and who to put out when and what players to pair, and when they are paired, like they need to play on these holes and not these holes. Like that's another thing. Like we can talk about pairings, but if they're playing the wrong holes, then the pairings don't really matter. So again, Jim Furyk wouldn't have been my first pick. I think my first pick would have been Steve Stricker. Maybe they went to him and he said no. I don't know the answer to that. But again, I think maybe he can't really do that much worse than what he did in France. As long as his captain's picks are better, he didn't pick the great ones. It is a little interesting, though. There was some drama with Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth at that Ryder Cup, and the way Patrick Reed's played this year in the majors recently, like he could be, I don't know if he'll qualify for a pick next year, but he's playing himself into captain's pick conversation. So that'll be an interesting one that Furyk will have to deal with as well. But again, we're a year and a half out. A lot can change. A lot of players can change. The rankings will change. it'll be interesting who he has as assistants. I think that will be a big thing. You got to think someone like Brandt Snedeker will be assistant. He's the President's Cup team for the U.S. this year. If he's successful, and he is probably going to be an assistant captain next year on the Ryder Cup team, I wouldn't be shocked that if he's the head captain in the Ryder Cup in 3 years when it's here again in the U.S., Kevin Kisner always will be one of the choices. And then do you go with Gary Woodland, Webb Simpson? He's won a major. He's been in Ryder Cups. He'll probably be an assistant captain. Do you go back to Keegan? Do you bring Keegan? At this point, you probably don't bring Keegan. He isn't playing his best right now. So I do feel bad for Keegan. I think his last chance to really make a Ryder Cup team was this past year in Bethpage. But you never know. Again, it's a year and a half out. Jim Furyk, we'll see. Not the most rah-rah, like, exciting guy, but if you have the right players, I don't think you need the most vocal captain. If you have a JT in that room, or a Bryson in that room, or some other kind of hyped up rah-rah guys, I don't think you need one. So I think Jim Furyk will be good in that, where he can be kind of the calming presence. And as long as he does good captain's pick and they start leaning into stats more and pairings better, I think they could have a shot. But it's going to be tough to beat that team. Luke Donald being the captain the third time, you got to assume 9 or 10 of those guys from the last 2 Ryder Cups are going to be back in fold. I don't know at this point who. You could probably guess maybe one of the Hogards is off and one of the older guys kind of tallies off. But again, Rory McIlroy won another Masters. Justin Rose just blitzed the field down at Torrey Pines. So it could be the same 12, or maybe 1 or 2 new guys sneak in. We don't know. But it's going to be a tall task for the Americans no matter what. So even if they would have gone with a really good pick, like let's say nothing happened to Tiger, I don't know if Tiger really would have been a good choice either. But again, PGA Tour, or not the PGA Tour, the Ryder Cup, they're picking Jim Furyk as their captain. Again, we'll see. We have a year and a half, so I can't judge anything yet. This week, again, like I said, busy week in the golf world. Go check out the tournaments. Go check us out. Read us on fairwaytogreen.com. Follow us on our social media, Fairway to Green. And just keep a lookout for anything we post on social media and all the recaps and preview articles that we have on our website. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the golf.